You can add a rubric to an assignment to help students understand the expectations for the work and also to facilitate your grading of the work against your learning outcomes, learning targets, and other indications of learning. So I'm on my assignment screen. I haven't really added many details, and you can see that it says plus rubric right here at the bottom. One thing to keep in mind is if you are going to be using an external tool such as PlayPosit, a Google assignment, Nearpod, you have to add this rubric before you would add that external tool resource. So I'm going to go in here and add my rubric. And I already have some rubrics created, so hopefully you have already created your rubric. If not, you could click Create Rubric and go ahead and do that. So for this assignment, I have an assignment rubric, and I'm going to click Use this rubric. You can expand that window if it's not big enough. Now, I can see here that this particular rubric matches from a previous assignment. So I'm going to change that here, and if that rubric had already been used to grade something, it would have asked me to duplicate my rubric here, so I would get a new copy. If I update this, it will update in other assignments as well if nothing has been turned in on those assignments yet. Okay, so here we go. I've got my rubric. I'm going to come right down here and I'm going to look and say use this rubric for assignment grading, and notice when I did that it removed the hide score total, and here's what happens. It's right here. So when I use this rubric for grading, it's going to go ahead and show me the total, and I've got all the points. And when you grade this for the students, you will look at their work on the left side in SpeedGrader. Now, if it's a Google assignment, you might have to launch outside of Canvas, but otherwise you'll be able to look at their work right on the left and show the rubric on the right and be able to click your scores for each of the areas that you've identified in your rubric. And then I would just update, and here we go. Oh, it's going to update my assignment points. See, I had 0 up here. And now when I go to edit the assignment, my rubric is already attached, and I would just go ahead and fill in all my assignment details. This is also good, say maybe they're not submitting anything or they did something on paper, but you want to record it in Canvas with the rubric. You can go ahead and do that. If you make this into an external tool, as long as you put the rubric in ahead of time, you should be good to go. There are other rubric options you can use for a Google assignment, and we can help you with that. I can click text entry here. Maybe you would have a PDF markup assignment, and you could have a different rubric for that. It's nice to try to have a rubric that is streamlined for a particular type of activity that you can use over and over again. So your rubric doesn't necessarily include specifics about the assignment. It could, but if you want to save time, try to create a rubric that can meet a lot of needs for yourself and your students, so you're not creating a bazillion different rubrics over time. So I'm just going to go ahead and save my changes there. And now they're going to be submitting a text entry. I would have all my directions up here. And then when I go to grade it, I'd be able to click, click, click here in 3, 2, 1 or 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 0, and it would total it up out of 9 points. So that's how you add the rubric to the assignment. Remember, if you're using an external tool, you have to add the rubric first. Otherwise, if you add the external tool and then save and come back here, that rubric button will no longer be there.